Hey guys, it's Ryan here, just coming up with another video. This one won't feature any dogs. This is really just my on-the-spot message to anybody watching who is thinking of buying a dog. I'm going to point out Pitt-Bull in particular because a lot of people buy them for the intention of fighting or being a guard dog or hurting people. It's, if you're going to buy that dog for because it's gangster and you think that you'll be badass, well, then you're an idiot and you should just go back to playing Grand Theft Auto or whatever. But anyway, if you're buying a dog, a few things that you need to know. In the beginning, it's very expensive. You've got to take your dog to the vet and have them get injections or shots for parvo. Here in New Zealand that costs around $60 each. From memory, I think it's 3 injections at 2 weeks apart, might be 3. It's very essential because if they contract parvo from things like dirt or another dog, you will have a very sick dog and a very expensive vet bill. I've always been of the belief that if my dog got critically ill, I would be selling everything in my house, my car, my laptops, Xboxes, everything. I wouldn't care. But that's just not an option for some people. And not only that, you'll save your dog a lot of pain and suffering by doing that. I think there's a few other shots that they get for things like kennel cough and whatnot. I can't remember. There's one other, but I can't remember what it is. It's some kind of infusion. They put it together anyway, and they deliver that with the parvo shot when they're a puppy. A few other things. As puppies, they eat heaps. I was going through 1 can a day of puppy food for Boss. Now as an adult, he will devour maybe, just off the top of my head, 8-9 kilos a week. I feed him other things as well. His bill is about 20 New Zealand dollars every week. He eats and eats and eats and poops just as much. Prepare to have your stuff destroyed as they're puppies and you teach them. My boy doesn't destroy things now. I can leave things lying around like shoes and all that sort of stuff, unless I tell him he can have it, and that's his. I'll let him know that he can have that particular item. A lot of stuff will get destroyed. In the beginning there was a big hole in our couch. I lost shoes, socks, undergarments, all of that stuff went missing. Kids' balls, just basically anything he could get his little mouth around as a puppy. Activity and running them, keeping them stimulated is very important, because if you, especially with a dog like a Pitt-Bull with a, I won't say destructive personality, but they like to chew stuff anyway, and it's very important to keep them stimulated so they don't do that. I find with Boss, if I keep him busy, a couple of hours a day, we'll muck around and he will tire himself out, and all he wants to do is come and sit up on the couch with me and be a lap dog, like he was when he was a puppy. 30 kilos and he still thinks he's a big lap dog. He's always sitting on my lap, very, very in your face dog, but very friendly about it. Another thing that you should be aware of if you are looking into buying a Pitt-Bull, sort of bulldog, staffy, anything in particular, you will probably be slid into a category by other people, like you will take your dog for a walk down the beach or at the park, and people will see your dog's face and your dog's build, and immediately be intimidated and avoid you. Some people are really good. Boss, for example, he will go and play with little foxies and little poodles and chihuahuas. It doesn't bother him at all. Little dog will bark at him and he'll freak out. But a lot of people will see your breed and automatically slide you into some category. You will receive judgment for it. I don't really know a lot of businessmen type thing that own pit bulls or bulldogs or staffies or anything like that. I'm of the belief that they're quite a working man's dog, so you will encounter that. Another thing that's very important, especially if you live in New Zealand, is having a registration on your dog, because they're classed as a menacing breed. The fines are a lot heavier. You pretty much have one chance if your dog bites or escapes. Not only that, if you lose your dog, they'll help you track it down, and you don't want to lose your dog to theft or being in a fighting ring. That really covers all dogs. You know, they take little ones too. I'm not going to elaborate into why. It's pretty nasty stuff, but it's really important that no matter what type of dog you have, they're you know, registered and microchipped. Paying the bills is a bit annoying every year, but you know, that's just one of the things that comes with owning a dog. They need to be fed every day. A structured time routine is probably the best. My two dogs are fed at 6 p.m. every night on the dot, and if we forget about it because we've had a busy day, he'll come and tell me. He'll sit in front of me and just stare away and stare away, and then I'll wonder why he's doing that and look at the clock. So if you get them into a routine, try not to break it. I'm sure that covers all dogs. I must point out though, I don't have a lot of experience with other types of dogs. Boss is my first dog where I'm master. I grew up with dogs, but my mother was always, she was the boss. So a lot of it is really unfamiliar territory for me, like in saying that I could go out and get a German Shepherd and my methods might be completely different. So yeah, that's basically my message to dog owners. Don't buy a dog if you're, you know, any dog in general. I've known people to work 12-hour days and go out and buy a beautiful bulldog for $2,000, and it sits at home in a cage all day because they don't want to leave it in the house, because they're little barrels on legs, little tanks. They go knocking everything around and can create a bit of mess. You need to have a lot of time to commit to your dog. So if you've got prior engagements and it's the word I'm looking for, having another little mental block there. If you've got things that you need to do all the time, work, hobby, sports, things like that, then you really need to think about whether or not a dog would suit your lifestyle. Mine does, for example, and everywhere I go he goes, and he knows that. Apart from things, sometimes I don't like walking him because of that. When people see him, another thing that I get a little bit scared about is the area that I live in. Somebody might see him and decide that they want him and come and try and take him off me or something. They're just all the things that you've got to factor in to that. It's not like buying a cat. You know, a cat, you can buy it, you can train it up from a kitten, and when it's an adult, really all you've got to do is feed it, you know, cuddles and stuff like that. But dogs require just that little bit more attention. Again, I said in a previous video not to baby them and not to treat them like idiots. Was a very important key. You will see in videos that I will make where I will talk like a baby to my dog, and I associate baby talk with love because it's gentle and nice. You can't be firm all the time. During training, yes, be very firm, very precise with what you want from your dog. I give boss baby commands, but the difference there is I'm no longer training him. I mean, I'm always training him, but the specific things I baby command him with, he'll do. So it's all about striking that balance, really. I'm still going to make my dog speak video. This was really just my message to anyone wanting to get a dog. If you don't have the time, don't have the money, you frustrate easily, things like that, my advice, get a goldfish or a bird or a bunny, something, just not a dog. Yeah, it's a real trial and error business, and it's not something you can just go and get a dog and then decide 6 months later it's not working out and the dog needs to go, because then they're going to need to be rehomed. It's going to impact that animal's quality of life. They're not going to, be as well coming from one family into another and learning a whole different set of things. So you will have a very negative impact in your animal's life. So yeah, any comments, please feel free to drop them below. Any suggestions or anything that you'd like to talk about or know, yeah, just put it there, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks, guys.